Well, this is about Ezra's dream in 2nd Ezra, which is found in the Apocrypha, the King James Apocrypha, which is a massive vision that Ezra had, who's meant to be a brother of Daniel, who lived in Babylon and shared similar dreams to Daniel. Daniel was shown the 4 empires to rule the earth from that time: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greco-Roman Empire, and then the flat out, basically, the beast that was undescript. So it was like a worldwide empire, with the iron teeth, but it was sort of based on the Roman Empire. Then we see in the book of Revelation that the eight heads of the dragon, I think it was. So if you look at all the empires in order from the beginning, from Egypt and Assyria, and then we go to Babylon, we go right up to the Ottoman Empire, which was a Muslim empire, which did rule for a short time after the Roman Empire. But as we've discussed before, that the Vatican did actually create the whole religion of Islam. There's very strong evidence that that Roman Catholic priests were involved in indoctrinating and partially writing even the Quran. Now, obviously, a lot of people disagree with that, but there is good evidence that actually happens, and it does tie into biblical prophecy. So it means that the last empire, which we actually have since 1917, was started by the British Empire, but it's not the British Empire. That's just one of the sort of ruling empires that brought in, or bringing in, the last empire, which is in fact pretty much a Rothschild banking empire. And that's the empire that people like Alex Jones and We Are Change and all these other people are protesting against. Okay, so we've had a change of power from the Islamic Empire, the Ottoman Empire, through the British Empire. The Americans sort of helping to sort of shepherd the thing going through. And now what we're having is basically the elite, ruling elite, who are known by Rothschilds and Rockefellers. These are the richest, most powerful people in the world. When we talk about power and influence, these are the people that are controlling things and sort of around the world these days. And I guess, well, that is the final empire, unless, of course, we'll see there's got to be a third world war as well, which has been prophesied in the book of Daniel as well, Daniel 11. So that's just a sort of background, but Ezra's vision about the 3 eagle heads actually concerns the last war, the Third World War. And if you consider that the double eagle head represents Russia, it also represents Masonry, but it's actually the sign for the ancient Roman Empire, which consisted of Eastern and Western Europe, but it also included Asia Minor. When we look at Turkey, Constantinople and all that, that's going towards the Eastern Roman Empire, which obviously spread their influence to parts of Russia and so on. Maybe not got as far as China, but they're there in India and so on. We know that China are communists, they have their own sort of philosophies, but you can see that obviously the sort of different industries, banking industry perhaps, and other things joining and becoming a real force. And as it says in the Ezra's vision, that the right-headed eagle, which is the right side of the ancient Roman Empire, which is sort of Russia, could connect with China and so on, eat up the head on the left side, which is definitely North America, talking about Canada, United States, and possibly some other smaller nations around there, which they're obviously trying to bring in a North American Union as well. So what we're actually having is that's been prophesied, that's been shown in the Word of God. A huge vision, basically a 3-headed eagle coming up from the sea. The sea represents the Gentile people, and it's a beast, and always the beasts are actually fighting against God's people. So you see the eagle has been represented in Nazism, it's been represented also partly in Islam, but if you go to the Vatican you'll see lots of representations of eagles, serpents and dragons. and they're actually synonymous with the chief of the fallen angels, who is called Lucifer. So actually that vision that Ezra, the priest, had during that time of Daniel, he actually saw that the central head would rule for a short time, and that's probably the 3.5 years that there'll be a tribulation after the Third World War. A lot of people just can't work out where we are in prophecy, but certainly the 7-year peace agreement's got to be signed, and there's a definite agreement signed by Obama in Israel this April. It was actually penned in I think it was the White House back last year. But again, these things take time to actually sort of be signed officially and all that type of stuff. So it's this year that was actually signed. So you've got Barack Hussein Obama, who's a self-admitted Muslim, but really hides his connections with the Jesuits. He actually hides that very well. He doesn't want people to find out that he was actually trained at Jesuit schools, Jesuit universities, and he's went to every length to try to cover that up, to stop people from finding that out. Why would he do that? Well, obviously, the Vatican itself doesn't want to see itself being involved so heavily in biblical prophecy. But books such as 2nd Ezra verse 11, which I'll leave a link to, you can actually read that for yourself and determine that indeed we are sort of approaching this final 3.5 years, perhaps before Yeshua actually returns. Remember, Yeshua actually ministered for 3.5 years, and we're talking about the final year, the final weeks of years in Daniel, the 7 years, okay, that's appointed for the Messiah to do away with sin. So the first 3.5 years he did that, he done away with sin, but the next 3.5 years, it's written that him and his anointed will go out onto all the earth and actually cleanse the earth by preaching the gospel again, and offering all those redemption for those who actually turn to Jesus Christ with all their heart, mind and strength, recognizing him as the King of Israel, the true Messiah, and basically he is the only one we can know God himself through the Son, Jesus Christ. And that will happen obviously about 3.5 years into the tribulation. So I just want to encourage you with these teachings. Please share them if you think they're important with your friends and colleagues. If you've read it and you don't think it's important, then please let me know why you don't think it's important, or may go against with a book you've actually read by some prophetic teacher, so we can discuss the reasons as to why the theology is different. But certainly the scriptures witness to these things that I've just told you. So thank you for listening, and may the Lord bless you.